Hi guys, in this video we will learn about the Sayyid dynasty, that is the dynasty which ruled after the Tughlaq dynasty. So Sayyid dynasty, the first ruler is Khizr Khan, as you can see here, Khizr Khan 1414 to 1421. He ruled for almost 8 years or 7 years you can say. Khizr Khan was his full name was Khizr Khan ibn Malik Suleiman. He was founder of Sayyid dynasty, ruling dynasty of Delhi Sultanate in North India soon after the invasion of Tamur and fall of Tughlaq dynasty. So he was the founder of Sayyid dynasty, which was a ruling dynasty of Delhi Sultanate in northern India. Soon after the invasion of Tamur, which was a Turkish chief, and fall of Tughlaq dynasty. So last Tughlaq ruler was Muhammad Shah Tughlaq. That is, you can see here, last Tughlaq ruler is Muhammad Shah Tughlaq. He was killed by Khizr Khan, and Khizr Khan became the ruler after that. He was the first. Mm, he was the first ruler of the Sayyid dynasty. So now Khizr Khan was the governor of Multan under Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Under Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he was the governor of Multan. But when Tamur invaded India, Khizr Khan, a Sayyid from Multan, joined him, and Tamur appointed him governor of Multan and Lahore. He then conquered Delhi and started the rule of Sayyid in 1414 in the name of Tamur. So he was the governor. He was the governor under Firoz. He was the governor of Multan under Firoz Shah Tughlaq. But when there was Tamur invasion in India, Khizr Khan supported him and joined him in defeating the Tughlaq dynasty. And then Tamur, when he was returning, he appointed him as his nominee and a governor of Multan and Lahore. And he then conquered Delhi and started the rule of Sayyids in 1414 in the name of Tamur. So this was Khizr Khan, and then the second ruler was Muhammad Shah. Khizr Khan was succeeded by his nephew Muhammad Shah. Muhammad Shah was a very weak ruler. Very weak ruler. His real authority only extended 40 miles around Delhi, and not after that. So he was a very weak ruler, Muhammad Shah, and his real authority only exceeded 40 miles around the Delhi, and not after that. During his reign, disorder and mismanagement prevailed, and later on during the reign of Muhammad Shah, Bahlol Lodi tried to capture Delhi, but he failed. So Lodi dynasty was coming to power day by day. They tried to capture Delhi during Muhammad Shah's reign, but they failed. And the next ruler, these were all not very powerful rulers. The next ruler was Mubarak Shah of the Sayyid dynasty. He ruled from 1421 to 1434. Muhammad Shah, which was the previous ruler, ruled for only 6 months or so, not also for 1 year. So Mubarak Shah ruled from 1421 to 1434, as you can see here. He claimed to be a descendant of Prophet. He claimed himself to be a descendant of Prophet, and 7 years of his reign were spent in suppressing revolts in various parts of India. He was son of Khizr Khan, and he came to throne in 1421. So Mubarak Shah was son of Khizr Khan, and he came to throne in 1421. He spent 7 years of his reign in suppressing revolts in various parts of India, and he claimed himself to be a descendant of Prophet. He was a man of great vision, but the nobles were against him and kept revolting. So they built a city on the banks of river Jamuna and named it Mubarakabad. He was assassinated in a plot. He was a man of great vision, but the nobles were against him and kept revolting. He built a city on the banks of river Yamuna and named it Mubarakabad on his name, Mubarak. So he named it Mubarakabad, and he was assassinated in a plot by the nobles. So after that, Alam Shah succeeded him. He ruled from 1445 to 51. He was pleasure-loving, incompetent, and weak king. Very weak ruler. He was always engaged in pleasuring activities. He was incompetent. He used to reside at Badon. He transferred his capital from Delhi to Badon on account of fear of Bahlol Lodi. So he was the ruler, but he had transferred his capital from Delhi to Badon on account of fear of Bahlol Lodi, governor of Lahore and Sirhind. Bahlul Lodi was also known as Sirhind. The advantage of his absence from Delhi. Bahlul Lodi occupied Delhi in 1451. Alam Shah continued to live at Badon till his death in 1748. So, although uh, this Sayyid dynasty remained in power and Alam Shah was not killed, he lived at Badon till his death in 1748, which was long after Bahlul Lodi had captured Delhi in 1451. But he had left Delhi very earlier because he was a very pleasure loving and incompetent and weak ruler. So he had transferred his capital from Delhi to Badon, and he, on account of fear of Bahlul Lodi, and who was the governor of Lahore, and taking this advantage of his absence from Delhi, Bahlul Lodi occupied Delhi in 1451. And after that, it was the end of Sayyid dynasty. There were only four main rulers: Khizr Khan, Muhammad Shah, Mubarak Shah, and Alam Shah. And after that, the Lodi dynasty started. So, okay, guys, see you in the next video. In next video, we'll learn about the Lodi dynasty.